Welcome to the Women's Connection. I'm Barrie-Louise Switzen, your moderator. The Women's Connection is a program about events shaping women's lives and helping one gain authentic power on a personal or a professional level. So won't you stay tuned?
Welcome. America is the melting pot of the world, and I love it because we have such a diversification of cultures here. And with me tonight are two Native American Indians, and we're going to learn a little bit about their culture, and I'm really excited about it. And I would like to welcome Shere Wright. Welcome, dear.
Thank you.
And Harriett Skye, my old friend.
Hi, Barrie.
Hi. Shere, you're wearing a gorgeous buckskin dress, which is so indicative of your culture. Would you please explain it to us?
Yes, this is the traditional dress of my people, the Sichangu Lakota. We're traditionally, a lot of people in America know us as the Great Sioux Nation, but we are called the Lakota people. And my dress is a representation of what the women in the past used to wear. And my dress is made today out of deer hide. Traditionally, it probably would be made out of buffalo or bison. And right now, we use elk, deer. In the past, we used those two, but for my people, our main economic source was the buffalo. So a majority of our things that we owned were from the buffalo. But today, we no longer use the buffalo just because how rare they are. And we stick to deer and elk hide.
What this represents?
Okay. Traditionally, women did not wear breastplates or bone chokers. We wear them today as an ornament to help just accent our dresses because we have a stationary dance that we do. And that's what we wear these for, just to accent our dresses and to make them look more nice. And traditionally, the men wore the bone as a protection, a source of protection, and it was armor for them, the closest thing we could get to armor. It was a lot different from how this looks now. I mean, the men, where there's the bone sideways and it just protects their chest area, but we just wear ours as a decorative piece, so it has to be long to match with our dress. My fringes on my dress are modern because they're very long. Traditionally, they would be short, as my sleeves also, because the women did a lot of the work around the camp. Actually, the women really did everything. The best way to explain the women's role is to say that the men hunted and protected the people. The elderly, they were the teachers, and the children were the students, and the women did everything else.
Wow.
Yes, I know. So women are highly respected.
You're wearing a crown.
Mm-hmm.
Please explain why.
I was recently crowned Miss Indian Nations, and I hold the title through in Bismarck, North Dakota, through the United Tribes Technical College. There was a pageant in September, and me and a few other girls ran, and I won.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Opportunity to represent Native women and all Native people, united as one, not just a single nation.
Now, I noticed before you sat down, you had some other decorations on your dress.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say this, but can you stand up and let's see the back of your dress?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right, we've got something in the back that has got a blue silk tie, almost looks like a tie, and you've got some beautiful beading of people.
They're traditional women. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what does that represent?
The blue scarf represents modesty. As Native women, we have to be extremely modest and carry ourselves in a good way. The belt and the purse and the knife case also represent what I spoke about earlier, how the women did a lot of the work. And it's a way to honor our past and to keep in mind how special our women are.
Why don't we do your boots too, because those are great.
Oh, thank you. My moccasins, they're two-piece, a legging and a moccasin.
Mm-hmm.
And my moccasins have a triangular design, which traditionally a lot of our teepees used to have that design. And it was, it represented a saying amongst our people, and it was just, if you're hungry or cold, you're welcome to come into my home. as the Lakota, we're very welcoming people.
You know, all the shiny, you see the shiny
The
beads on the on her choker and on her breastplate here. Everything is shiny, and her moccasins are cut glass beads, and they're shiny because we're hoping when we're dancing for our people. We're dancing because of who we are, but we're also dancing because we want the Creator to look at us and to bless us and bless our people. And so maybe with all this, he just might
Look at us.
look at us
Yes.
and bless us. And
Oh, beautiful. What does Lakota stand for?
I guess I've heard different things that it means friend. It was given to us by another tribe, but it really is just the people who we are. I don't really know the actual meaning of it. So, sorry. We are broken down into different bands. Like my band is the Sichangu people, which means burnt thigh. And we got our name from a fire that surrounded our camp, and our people had to run through the fire to survive, and all of their legs were burnt. So that's where we got our name, the Burnt Thigh Nation. Other nations too, like Harriett Standing Rock.
You also have a Lakota name,
Yes.
as well as what you might want to call an American name.
Mm-hmm.
What is your Lakota name?
It's Wiawashdewi, and it translates into pretty woman. It's a family name passed down. My grandfather, his great-great-great grandfather, Red Spider, had a daughter, and her name was Jane Pretty Woman. And that's back when we first started getting first names, because we've always never carried the same last name how we do today. We've always had our own single names, and that's back when we first started getting our first and last names. So her name was Jane Pretty Woman, and she died at the age of 8 years old.
Wow.
So he gave me her name to carry on her and honor her.
Harriet, what's your Lakota name?
my Lakota name is Mahbiatomi, which in the Lakota language means blue sky woman. And that was given to me when I was 13 by my grandmother. And that's a name that's also been in our family for, who knows how long. But I think that's one of the important factors that has sustained me and my brothers and sisters. We all have Indian names. For me, it's always made me know who I am. I've never had any difficulties with that concept. So I've always known, where I came from and
That's
what
beautiful.
I'm doing here.
You've won some pageants. What made you start the cycle to get into the pageants?
My mom really encouraged me.
Mm-hmm.
She always knew that I was interested in public speaking and getting into tribal politics to make a difference on the reservation. And she just encouraged me to try out for these pageants because you're put in a place of a position where you're a role model. And she said if I was to become a leader of our people, I would be a role model for the people. So she encouraged me to try these pageants as practice, I guess, for my future endeavors.
And what are your future endeavors?
I hope to be the tribal chairwoman of the Rosebud Sioux tribe someday.
What kind of difference do you want to make?
Right now we say that we're sovereign, and we are sovereign people, but I really want us to be completely independent, and we're really dependent on the government right now. We have a lot of federal funding that comes from the government that funds a lot of our programs and gives probably 90% of our workforce on the reservation, and I really want to become self-sustaining people. That's one of my main focuses that I would like to see, also to strengthen our heritage and culture, because it is being lost right now. I mean, there's so much things out there that are catching the eye of our young people. And with the past has played a huge role in diminishing our culture and our heritage. So I hope to bring or save what we have and carry that on.
Imagine that you speak 2 languages at least?
No, I don't. And that has a lot to do with our status right now, as we're losing part of our culture. And it's really a sad thing, because a lot of our grandparents and our elders were sent away to boarding school where they weren't allowed to speak the language, and told that it would never ever be anything for them in the future, that it would never be helpful to them.
And they were punished if they did.
Mm-hmm. Greatly punished. So they really became ashamed, and our people are still a very oppressed nation, and they're coming out of it now slowly, but you still see the loss that and the suffering that they're going through.
I visited you on one of your reservations. Is this the same reservation?
No, this is different. This is, and you weren't on the reservation. You were in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Oh.
Where we have the international powwow every year in September, and you came as our guest.
That was so exciting.
And took some wonderful pictures. But where we were at that time is the United Tribes Technical College, and every year in September we have this wonderful pageant with these young, beautiful women who come to to try out for Miss Indian Nations, and we also have an international powwow at the same time. And so that's where you were. The United Tribes Technical College is the only college out of 33, tribal college out of 33, that is not on the reservation. It's next to the airport in Bismarck, North Dakota.
What do you think the future is of the Indians, Native American Indians, in the 21st century?
I don't know what the future holds. I could just hope that there's good things for us in the future. And my main goal or hope for all nations is that we can unite still as individual tribes, but come together and be stronger. Because in the past, or historically, that was our downfall. I think our treatment through America would have been a lot better if we united. One example that I always look at is like African American people. When you see them here, they're just all one people. They don't know which tribe they're from, if they're Bushmen or Zulu. They just know that they're African American and their roots are from Africa. So yet that makes them stronger, and they all stand together. And that's what we need to do, and we need to, because there's a lot of hard feelings from tribe to tribe, and we need to diminish that so we can stand together and be a stronger nation.
How many different tribes are there?
Oh, there's so many.
It's over 555 different tribes with as many different languages.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So you've got a big project ahead of you. What do you see as your first step?
I think once we become more established, and once we become self-sustaining, that we'll be a lot more stronger. I think we are already taking steps to come together, especially through our educational standpoint. Like this past week when we were in Hawaii at the NIEA, all the nations are coming together to try to help the local schools learn about our cultures and try to bring it into the public school system.
You read a lot about all these the different tribes on the reservations who've got these gigantic, fabulously successful casinos.
Mm.
How is that money distributed, or does it stay within the tribe or the reservation?
I'm not sure, because we're one of the unfortunate poor nations. We have a casino, and it doesn't, we don't have per capita or anything. We're still paying off our casino, and it doesn't really bring much into. It brings some money in, and I know it goes into our general account for the tribe, and they distribute it through some of the programs like the Youth Affairs program and some of the other small programs that they can afford to support. But other than that,
I think what they do, not all tribes have casinos, but and some of them aren't as successful as people would like to think they are, but some are. And I think those that are putting that money back into the people, into programs, into developing economic development, and then developing educational programs that were designed by the tribes and not by somebody else. And a lot of those programs that we had were designed by the federal government, and they were designed to fail. So this time we have money which puts us on an equal playing field with everybody else, and we can develop our own programs.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it is fantastic, and it's recently, within the past 35 years, the tribes in the United States of America were given control over their own destiny, and that was when Nixon was the president. He signed 3 major pieces of legislation, and one of them was the Indian Self-Determination Act, the other one was the Indian Education Act, and the other one was the Indian Child Welfare Act. And the Indian Child Welfare Act was important because Indian children were being taken off the reservations and put in homes in Canada and across the United States and taken away from their people. And so many of them grew up not knowing who they were,
Wow.
or where they came from. So whatever we think about President Nixon, he did do some really good things, at least for us anyway.
Do you participate in Vision Quests?
No, I do not. I have some female friends that do. Traditionally, only the men had to do that because the men were given 7 rights, and this always makes me feel really good. A man told me this once. He said, when women are born, we're already up here because we're the givers of life, and the men have these 7 rights and 7 steps that they have to take to become equal to us. And our prayers are a lot stronger, and the men have to do several things to make their prayers as strong as our women's prayers. So a vision quest is just one of the things. A lot of times, traditionally, women did not do all of those things. They didn't go to, they didn't humblecha, which means seek a vision or cry for vision, and they didn't go to an inipi, which is a sweat lodge. But today, women do those things. Mm-hmm. They do participate in those. And it wasn't a discrimination thing back then, like, oh, you're women and you're not good enough to come into our inipi. It wasn't like that. It was that we were strong enough that we could just stand outside and support the men. And we left it up to the men to do that. And my grandma told me that one time us women really ruled everything. We controlled the whole camp, but we just sat back and let the men take over. Let them feel important. And those are some of the things that they used to do. And today, I do have a friend who does Vision Quest every year, and she does it before she sun dances. And a sun dance is traditionally, our people all gathered together, and we had one huge sun dance. And a sun dance basically is a time of prayer, 4 days of prayer. And I don't know if you would like to.
Well, it's a time when people come for purification purposes, to purify themselves emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Mm-hmm. And everyone comes together, all the families come together to support the people who are in the circle in the Sundance. And they call it crying for a vision, and they pray and they feed each other, they feed the people who are there supporting the sun dancers. And it's a very difficult time for the dancers because some tribes allow them to have water, other tribes allow only want a 4-day fast. So it varies from tribe to tribe, but and some provide food once a day for their dancers. But the Lakota people are very hard on themselves, and the crying for a vision is a prayer, not only for the person that and his family he's praying for, but for the whole tribe and for all the people, the red, yellow, black, and white that make up the colors of the Lakota people, but also which are the colors of all the people that are on the face of the earth.
They're a lot different today than they were in the past. In the past, they were a lot more dangerous. They still are risky today, but when you go up, they put you up on a hill, and you stay up for a day and a night. And traditionally, you would stay up there for 4 days and 4 nights with no food and no water. But now you stay up for 1 day and 1 night, and you just constantly pray while you're on the hill. And it's constant prayer. And then after you come down, if you have a vision while you're there, then you can come down. But some people don't have a vision.
Yeah.
Some people don't. They just stay up there. I mean, it's a good thing to have a vision. I mean, it doesn't just come to anybody. So you just stay up there for your limited time, and you come down, and then you go to the Sundance, where you pray for 4 more days and 4 more nights.
Oh, interesting.
And that just
Okay.
happens in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. And in the hot summer,
Yeah.
my friend Sylvia, she's a Sundancer. I just pray for her during that time because it is so hard. Her Sundance is a traditional Sundance where they don't allow food or water. Some of the elderly people can drink chokecherry juice if they need it, but other than that, they have to go without it.
You don't have to see a vision, but if you do, you're considered sacred.
Or you have to act on it.
Yeah, and then
Or you have a lot of work to do,
you
one
have
or the other.
something to do with that. There's some responsibility connected with that vision.
When you think of God, do you think of it as God or the Great Spirit?
There's a lot of mixed feelings that people have, but for me, I believe in our traditional ways, and I believe that there's a strong sacred being that created all of us that we all pray to.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
I think of the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the traditional. I believe in the traditions of the Lakota people, in their belief system, and that was given to me, as we got it all from our parents and our grandparents. And I think of the Creator because when you look at the world and you look at the people, something magnificent happened, in each individual as they were created, in the trees and the land and the waters, and no human being could do that.
The closing moments of the show, what would you like to leave the audience with?
I guess to really reach out and support us, to support the Native people by trying to not really know everything about us, but just try to understand us a little bit better. And a lot of people always ask me the question, well, how can we help? How can we help the people? And that's the best way, is to really keep an ear out when the politics come around and there's something that includes us in there, that has our interest in it, to support us and stand behind us and through our educational endeavors. And by that I don't mean by going to school, encouraging us to go to school, but by helping our local school areas learn about us, because within our school structure we're not taught about ourselves, and we're not taught it at home either because of the work that our parents do during the day, and it's completely different from how we were in the past. Like I said before, the elders were the teachers and the children were the students, so that was their job, was to learn, and the parents took care of everything else. So we don't have that same structure now, and we're stuck in a schoolhouse all day, and we never have that time to learn about ourselves and who we are, and the people around us don't learn that either. So we go around blindly, not really knowing and understanding completely who we are in a world where others don't understand us either. And it's really hard to walk the two worlds. So I guess just to encourage everybody to try to learn about the Native people in their area and to support them.
Harriet, what would you like to leave the
I
audience
think
with?
that's really all good. I think that I also, as an educator, want young people like Shere to go to school and to write and to begin to tell the stories that have never been told before. Our stories have been told by a lot of people, but they've never been told by us. And I think that once we get past that, we've been traumatized, and I think a lot of people in this country have been traumatized, and so have we. And we still have that traditional memory of what happened and what took place here with our people, and so we have to heal. We have to do some healing, and we're doing that. And I think that we get educated, and we can write, and we can tell people our side of the story, because we've been muted, we've been silenced. And I, for one, really want to see, I want to read what these young people are going to write about, you know, because it excites me, you know, when I see them all going to school and graduating and getting degrees. And, you know, a lot of people that do that, a lot of our Native people that do that, come home, you know, and we need that. We need them to come home, and we need them to help teach the little children. So
That's great.
I agree with her.
I thank you both so much for coming. Shere, it has been wonderful.
Thank you.
Harriet,
Nice to meet you too.
Good to see you again, Barrie.
Thank you,
It's
same
been
here.
wonderful.
And I hope you've enjoyed learning something about the Native American Indian, because I know I have. Love to hear from you. Please write us here at The Woman's Connection. Bye now.